Well, they've done a good job. Jalen Todd's been here, really the whole spring semester, so he really started to show up there, and it's just continued on. He's matured a lot. He's performed really well, and so he's earned that spot. And DJ, he's a very talented player, and again, he's a work in progress because he's still got to learn a lot of things about what we're doing and really consistently how to do them. But you can't take away from his athleticism and some of the things he's capable of doing in the right situation. So they've earned it. Nobody's given him anything.
Cornell Wheeler getting named captain. What has he shown you in terms of earning that?
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. I don't know if he expected that or not. So he's stepped up into the role that we really needed him to, playing the position he plays and all the things he needs to do. And we've encouraged him really throughout the spring and summer and fall to, hey, we just got to keep being a voice that can speak for the group. And he hasn't shied away from that at all. He's embraced that, and I think I'm glad the team recognizes that because he's earned that honor.
Lindenwood returns one quarterback who played a little bit last year. Another quarterback transfers in from McNeese. Can you just walk through sort of the film process in terms of, how you watch those guys and how you prepare for them?
Well, first game of the year, as always, you're never quite sure what you're going to get. So I think we've already prepared our guys for, you gotta expect that something's going to happen that we really haven't prepared for, but again, with our own offense, working against our own offense, I don't know that we're going to see anything that we haven't seen in some way, shape, or form. So, we've prepared for what they've shown on film. And quite honestly, I don't pay a whole lot of attention, no disrespect to Lindenwood or Oklahoma State or anybody. I don't always pay a whole lot of attention to who's who. I know numbers sometimes. I don't know a lot of names, but because it's not really about them. Again, it's we just need to prepare the best way that we can and do all the things that we need to do to help us be successful and give our team a chance to win, regardless of whatever else is happening in the game. So, I think we've got a little bit of film on the quarterback from McNeese and kind of seeing what he's about, but there's just a lot of unknowns going into it, and try not to get all uptight about all those kind of things. And so we're gonna come out and play best game that we can and let the chips fall where they're going to fall.
Looking at the depth chart, and also based on what you guys said during camp, it seems like developing versatility for the linebackers has been kind of a priority. Just how have you seen that evolve over the course of the last month or so?
It's been confusing at times because guys are moving in around all over the place, but I believe ultimately it's going to be good. So because things happen, injuries happen, certain games, certain situations are tailored for a certain type of player on defense, sometimes maybe more than others. So the fact that guys can learn, I don't know that there's anybody that doesn't know at least two spots. So I feel like that'll help us down the road when we need it for whatever reason. And like I said, it's hard keeping track of it in practice sometimes. I feel sorry for Coach Simpson trying to map all, because we map out like every rep is mapped out. So it's he does a really good job of getting guys out there because it'd be hard for me to keep track of.
I'm curious, for your first game of the season, several new faces will be contributing. What are you most looking for from your guys in this first game?
Well, it's to play up to our standards, right, and respond to situations, and respond to just the game situation, and not allow a live game, a crowd, not playing against an opponent, not allow those things to get the best of us, and really keep our thoughts and our thoughts locked into what we need to do, and what each individual, what do I need to do in order to be successful and help the defense be successful. So, I think that's what we're doing the most of is, again, just really worrying about ourselves more than than anything else. And we just need to, when the lights come on, we need to perform as we can perform. If we do, I feel good about our chances in any game that we play this year. But if we don't, then we can be pretty average too.
With Devin and Jalen Dye, what kind of camp did those two guys have, and where do you see them kind of fitting in with that safety rotation?
Yep. Well, they're up there in that top echelon of safeties in our nickel player. Devin's been a little bit banged up, but he's coming around now. So we've been a little bit slowed by that, but I think he's getting back in the groove of things, and we're going to count on both of those guys. And I don't know, if they're going to be. I can see situations where they could be out there together, which will be kind of unique and interesting. But they have places in our rotations and things that we're doing and packages that we play. They're both going to play, and hopefully they'll both play well.
Brian, you've talked about them all individually, but that secondary, is that as solid as you've had going into a season in terms of experience, talent, all the things that make it up?
I think so, and I feel pretty confident in those guys back there. Like they're not going to get rattled. They're not going to be surprised by a lot of things. They've played. They have confidence, and so that really needs to be a strong point of our defense, and then hopefully that'll that. The security of having some experience back there, and not just experience, but like talented experience at the same time. I think that's gives me confidence in, well, can I make this call? Yeah, I can, because I think we can cover them, and so I think it helps me, but I think it helps everybody on defense, just knowing that those guys are back there and you can count on them.
Yeah, on that last note, you hear all the time about a pass rush helping a secondary. Does it go the other way too?
I sure think it can. We'll see what happens, but I feel like good about our ability to lock down individual players and make our coverage schemes work for us. And yeah, we'd like to get a bunch of sacks, but I don't know that that's always going to happen. So sometimes it just guys gotta be relentless and keep working up front. And if a quarterback's got to hang on to the ball for a fraction of a second, or I'm thinking this over here, but that's covered, I got to go somewhere else. Well, that gives you the time that you need, and hopefully those things will work together. But I'm also hopeful that we can just generate some just great pass rush on our own, and speed up the offense, make a quarterback make bad decisions, and hopefully they throw some balls back there.
Brian, I know you guys can only list 4 defensive tackles on the depth chart, but what do you see of the overall depth from that group?
Pretty deep position. The guys listed there, yep. There's other guys as well. Obviously, Blake Harold would be a guy that would come to my mind. And I'm sure I'm going to forget somebody in that group there, because there's others also. I would probably guess that we're going to play when the game's in hanging in the balance, we'll probably play 5 to 6 guys. So 5 for sure, I would think, and then we'll see what happens beyond that. But there are a lot of we do have a lot of good depth at that position, and some of it's more ready than others in terms of the readiness to really be huge factors. But there's probably 6 or 7 guys that at individual points can make some good things happen. So I'd feel good that should things happen, we can keep plugging guys in, and our production and we won't have a lot of fall off in terms of production and what guys do.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, guys.